T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time,
Big time.
running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of signs, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Just running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me.
Big time.
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, from me, from me, from me, from me.
Big time. Number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
Welcome to the Power Hour Friday edition. It is a free-for-all Friday here. Quinn Pushkar down there at HQ taking over the controls. I'm here at home. Jeffrey's at home. Billy's at home. And EB is at home as well. Gentlemen, how are we today on this Friday?
Awesome.
Yet to be determined.
To be determined. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Your day hasn't been decided yet, whether it's a good day or a bad day yet?
Still recovering, man. Still recovering.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, is Jeff wearing polka dots?
It is a new shirt for Jeff. He's got a dress shirt on in the middle of the afternoon. Not quite sure why, but what are you all dressed up for, Jeffrey?
I think me and my buddies are going down to the Italian festival downtown tonight. So I kind of
Downtown.
It didn't sound like that. Sounds like you put your foot in your mouth for when you talk like that, but that's cool. No, me and my buddies are just going down.
Who's speaking? Who's talking right now? Foot in the mouth? What?
You.
Jeff, are you at least going to change the undershirt?
I probably will. I probably
Because we
will.
can clearly see you're sponsored by Under Armour.
I am not sponsored by Armour. Worst company ever.
Wow. I
Wait,
guess we're
where-
never going to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd rather should not get them.
I disagree. I think Under Armour's great.
Why are you wearing your shirt then, Jeff?
It's not my shirt. I took it off someone.
So you stole somebody's shirt.
Yeah.
Do you wear other people's shirts? Is that like a thing? I thought that was like a chick thing.
No, well, if it's like I'm at someone's house and I need to
Like
steal
sisters steal sisters' clothes and mothers all the time. Like I didn't think like nobody's stealing my stuff.
Well, you have no guy friends, that's why.
Yeah,
Sure.
I can't think of a time that I may have like stolen or used somebody else's shirt and worn it. I mean, my stuff gets taken all the time, but I have a wife that takes my clothes from me.
Yeah, all my friends are like really big, a lot bigger than me, right, Jeff?
Oh. We'll make fat jokes. Fat jokes.
I did not. I didn't
No,
say
no,
that. I didn't say that. I just said
that's
like
what you were saying.
I'm just a little smaller than like
Are you?
another
Are
friend of
you?
mine.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah. Well, the National Day today is one that Jeff can fit right in with. It's International Beer Day.
He said fit.
So, Jeffrey, what are you drinking there? As we know that it is, there you go. He's drinking
Coors Light.
a Coors Light. So on this International Beer Day, what is your favorite beer? Quinn?
That's funny. Water.
Water. Yeah, you don't really drink that much, do you?
No,
Quinn, why don't you ask everybody the question you asked me at lunch yesterday?
I don't remember what the question was.
Is everybody here, is iced tea a pop?
No.
Sweet tea.
No.
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
It's not even carbonated.
No, exactly.
Okay. I said no too, by the way. I just was asking everybody to get more insight.
Was this an argument? Quinn, do you think it's a pop?
No. Someone
No.
said, one of his buddies, Quinn said it was a pop. That person got dropped on his head when he was a baby.
Wasn't it
That's-
DJ who said it was a pop?
Or
It's not
DJ
a pop.
said it too.
It's not a pop.
It's not a pop, no.
It's not like me
I would
going over
say
a can of
I would
Coke.
go like first thing has got to be like carbonated.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pop. A
Yeah.
pop is, some kind of carbonated drink. Then you can call it a pop. And then you add syrup and then you're okay there. But no, sweet tea is not a pop. I mean, like if you get a can of Lipton Brisk, that's not a can of pop. That's a can of tea.
That might be the worst tea of all time. But yeah.
Jeff, are you okay? You're just like dogging it. Are you all right?
I'm
You know, or
good.
something?
I am perfectly fine today. I just
Hammering companies left and right.
Yeah.
Jeff, what's your favorite beer?
an open one.
That's a good answer.
No, I've been a Busch Light probably. Busch Light, Keystone Light. Any open beer is pretty good to me.
There you go. EB, a favorite?
I mean, the go-to is probably Bud Light generally, but I can't hate on Jeff's response of an open beer. It's if I have a choice and we're going out, we're going domestic or nothing crazy, then I'll probably always go Bud Light. But the more I get into it, like I like some of these microbrewed beers. I'm not the biggest IPA guy, but some of these other styles that they have are pretty good, and actually some of these IPAs are pretty good too. It's more of an acquired taste, but if it's an open beer, I'm with Jeff.
Billy?
So I have seasonal. I'm like a seasonal guy, but it's not like you think though. It's a little different. So Bud Light is my go-to. October is Sam Adams time because that Oktoberfest from Sam Adams is awesome.
Have
And
you
baseball-
ever mixed October
Cherry
Sam
wheat?
Adams? Yes, with cherry wheat.
Yeah, I did. You
Dude.
told me to do that last year. It was good.
Yeah,
I liked
it's
it. It was
phenomenal.
really good. So baseball season is Miller Lite. And that's because of the coaches around me. And then NABF season. So if we're on the last day of the NABF, if we're gonna maybe have a chance to win it, we bring out the Beast, Milwaukee's best.
Dude, they're not making
It's our
that
se-
anymore.
It's our secret weapon.
They're not making it anymore.
Well, I know somebody that would be highly upset about that.
Coors Light. I think it's made by Coors Light, and they're not making it. They came out and said the Beast Light, Beast, and Beast Ice is not getting made anymore.
Oh, well,
Or Keystone
Yeah.
Light or Keystone Ice. It's not going to make it.
Is it? Okay.
Keystone Light's just Coors Light, but it's a different.
All right. I'm a Bud Light guy myself as well, but I have been like trying to like expand the palate a little more. And when we were at the Poorhouse the other day, they had this. It was a raspberry. It was one of those kind of IPAs. It was a raspberry one. It tasted. It was really good, and I didn't realize until I was 3 into it that it was 7.1% alcohol, and I was like, well, that was enough for me, because I was thinking to myself, I still have to drive home, and these wings are going to soak up some of this. But it was really good, and I was like, wow, I could definitely sit down and have
even like some of those seltzers will put you on your butt a little bit because they're high in alcohol content.
And they just go down so smooth. Like I've actually become a fan of some of the seltzers and high noon or moon.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to seltzer?
Ooh, honestly, I've been dabbling a lot with Truly, but I like the Corona seltzers. The Corona seltzers, Bud Light's not bad, but like I know it's not really a seltzer, but I like High Noon a lot.
Jeff calls them High Moon.
High Moon.
It's on video.
High Moons.
I can only have like 3 or 4, and that's it. Like that's as far as I can take the seltzers. So
I could drink a whole 12-pack.
White Claw's disgusting.
Well, White Claw Surge are the most. Yeah, they're the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. I'd rather.
Jeff, can you say something positive today?
Yeah,
about anything?
I will. I'm about to right now. I'd rather drink a Four Loko, like the old style Four
Okay.
Loko.
Okay.
There we go. Jeff,
Mr. Polka Dot.
Not polka dots.
Well, staying on this International Beer Day, listen, we all did it at one point, but we all had to drink a lot of cheap beer back in either high school or early college days. What's the worst beer? The worst beer you've ever had? I'll start with you.
Oh, that's real simple.
Dude, I think it was Schlitz. Schlitz or what is it? The one from Pittsburgh, like Icy Light or Ice House or something like that, dude.
Like Donny Ayers.
Yeah, those Schlitz was the worst tasting, and I think Icy probably gave me the worst hangover. But I can probably go down a few. Genesee's right up there too.
Ooh.
Billy?
To me, it's Natty Light. It's real simple. It's just like.
Did you say anything positive today?
Yeah, I just did a couple minutes ago. Now I'm going to go my negative. He asked for a negative response. That's what you get.
Yeah, your worst beer.
Yeah.
Natty Light is definitely not the worst beer.
Natty Light is just terrible. It's just terrible.
Jeff?
Genesee Cream Ale.
Oh.
I was at a stag party, and that was the only beer they had left. By the way, that coming back up is not tasty. It was so bad. And I'm like, oh my, I got up, worst hangover of all time. Like Genesee Cream Ale, that's what we had.
I have like a feeling you've had some bad beers before, right? Like, because you've tried a lot of things. Like out of all of us, maybe you and Eric are probably like the most like go off the beaten path to like try to get some stuff. And I feel like you're just like, oh, does that have alcohol in it? I'll drink it. Oh, not good.
I try anything like once. But that was the only thing
you had a beer case in my car for like a week. Well, what was that? Because you said that stuff was terrible too.
No, I like Narragansett. It's a beer from New Jersey. It's good. It's like an upgrade version of Busch Light.
I mean, like obviously back in high school, like we were drinking anything you could get your hands on because what's that? I get it.
Well, we don't promote that. We don't promote that.
I didn't say that we promote that. I'm saying that most of us
back in the 60s, it was a little different. You could have 3-2 beer back when you were in high school.
Beer. Yeah, I was drinking a 3-2 beer. Shithead. But no, the worst I've ever had. A buddy of mine brought it for me, and it was for a birthday present, and he thought it was funny, and he's like, because the name of it was called Old Leg Humper, and he bought me a 6-pack of it. It cost him like $15 for this 6-pack, which I was like, that was great. The nastiest, most disgusting beer I've ever drank in my life. It was horrible. It was like, when I started reading about what it was like a really dark beer. So it was almost like a Guinness, but it said it had like a chocolate malt flavoring to it. It was disgusting. Yeah, I mean, I almost threw up as soon as I drank one of them. I'm like, no, this is disgusting. I ended up throwing the rest of them away like a couple years later. I didn't want to like be rude, but terrible.
Took you a couple years after that to throw them away?
Well, I left them in the fridge for a while, and that kind of stuff ends up getting pushed towards the back of the fridge, and you just like don't pay.
You forget about it. Yeah, you just forget about it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, oh God, there's that disgusting beer. I'm gonna throw it out. So, I mean, but like obviously like Busch and the Beast and all those were cheap, accessible beers back in the day that you could try to go through. But you kind of definitely grew out of that when you got some more money. You were like, oh.
Boone's Farm. That's where it was at.
Boone's. Mad Dog 2020. Little things of Mad Dog and stuff. Yeah, not good, but we all did it. Quinn, you've been quiet over there. Have you never had a beer before?
I don't even know. Guinness is bad. I don't like that. That was probably the worst one. Guinness is pretty bad.
As an Irishman, I'm not a big fan of the Guinness either.
For someone like Quinn who doesn't drink or rarely drinks, I feel like Guinness is a bad beer to like jump into. I mean,
right.
I'm not that big of a Guinness person either, especially with you, Billy, as a Irishman. But like, I feel like now if you've never really drank like probably the seltzers or something like that is the better way to go. Like, I understand it's a fad right now and it's the hot thing, but beer is like an acquired taste. Like you don't just hop in drinking beer and you're like, oh, I love beer. Like, not saying in the younger days you had to like force one or two down, but generally like you kind of had to. And then in college it was just like, well, this is what's cheap, this is what's easy to get, and thrown in some beer pong and everything else. Most bang for your buck.
Especially you were getting cheap beer for the beer pong because you weren't gonna spill that.
Absolutely.
All that stuff. Coach saying in college he drank Red Dog and Mad Dog 2020. I remember the Red Dog too. That stuff was horrible, but it was cheap. So
it was Kate's comment this is why she says Steel Reserve is the word. We had a wedding party last year and everybody had to have like a tall boy, right? And it was like a roulette style. So it was in a paper bag. You just picked one out. People were getting like Four Loko, Mike's Hard, and it was a couple things. So Kate and I got Steel Reserve, and I was like, I got the only beer. This is easy. They were making fun of me. They're like, oh, you got Steel Reserve, you got Steel. I was like, oh no, I'm good.
Yeah. As DJ chimes in here, YSN does not promote drinking under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly. Again, I did say that.
We did hit that up.
We're not promoting any underage drinking, but back in the day, we all were maybe consuming something that we shouldn't have been. But
when we were in college at 21, yes.
Exactly. We were in college, drinking cheap beer in college because you were getting by day to day.
You were broke. We were broke in college. That's why.
That's what you were saving your money up for at the end of the week. A little bit of gas in the car, maybe a sandwich, and then you were saving a couple extra bucks. Your buddies all put together and got some good beer and went somewhere on the weekend. So, I guess enough about alcohol, so we don't get in any more trouble. The one big story I saw today was Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills signed a huge contract. Signed $258 million 6-year extension with $150 million guaranteed, which they said now makes him the top paid quarterback out there. Is this something that is going to all of a sudden cause a huge explosion on the quarterback landscape with guys getting paid now? Because there's a handful of other guys that are out there that are still waiting to get paid, or they're going to get paid here in the next year. Do you guys see this just being the tipping point for something like this? Jeff?
How does that make him the highest paid quarterback?
Well, Or the guaranteed money, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
The highest guaranteed money then? Because Mahomes is getting what?
Well, he restructured his
Half
contract.
Kansas City?
He restructured that. So, he could have took less money in the restructured deal.
Said it was the most ever in a single contract.
Yeah.
Interesting.
$258 million. It's just
It's got to be the guaranteed money. That's usually what they talk about.
280, 150 guaranteed. So
there's still I love to be Lamar Jackson right now. Have my ball look at that contract and then tell Baltimore okay, we gotta get somewhere near this deal right here. I think I'm worth that much money for you guys. So you look at Lamar Jackson type of point of view of it, he has to love it, and it just goes right from there. You see all these big deals. The biggest thing in the NFL is be the highest paid player at your position. If you're a punter to a kicker to a corner, be your highest paid player so they can go. Then the agents have to go off of something.
Well, you went be the highest paid, and then you went right to punter kicker. That was your first instinct, punter kicker. Nobody cares what a punter is. Nobody cares what a punter. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Right.
There's high school teams
That's
in
why your
Texas
football teams
that
stink,
never punt. Listen, Jeff, there was a study in high school football, and Coach Seidel will tell you this too, that there was a team who did not punt on any down and any fourth down and distance. If it was 4th and 30, and they converted it 75% of the time. Then you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me the most important position on the field
and the most exciting play in football.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Jeff, just taking a look here. I mean, it's something we're going to talk about here in a little bit about the Hall of Fame. I'm looking at the last two classes of Hall of Fame inductees.
No punt.
Not one kicker.
Oh, no.
Not one punter.
They get disrespected.
There's only 3 kicker punters in the Hall of Fame anyway?
Yes, there's
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, Jeff, get off of Pat McAfee's lap here, okay?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe, what do you think about this?
I mean,
besides the putter aspect of this,
right? I mean, great for Josh Allen, but eventually, when is there going to be a tipping point of teams are going to be okay, we're not going to pay these quarterbacks that need extensions, past this anymore. I just feel in the past 5 years, and it's probably because of TV deals and everything, but these quarterbacks are getting more and more. At first you're Aaron Rodgers, he's getting so much money, highest paid ever, and then here comes Mahomes, and now here comes Josh Allen. Eventually there's going to be a breaking point to where teams are going to be all right, we've had you for 5 or 6 years now, and with the new crops of kids always coming in and how talented these college players are, or how accessible it is to trade for someone, but where is there going to be a breaking point of no more guaranteed money, or people cap it at $150 million? Dude, that's pretty much saying the Bills, and they have a good shot. I mean, they're built pretty well, but that's pretty much them saying Josh Allen, it's got to be Super Bowl or bust. Is that what it turns into?
Mm-hmm. Because you can't pay it. Segler said the cap will keep it in check, but think about when Russell Wilson got his deal. They couldn't sign anybody back to help him out, and they struggled for a couple years. And look at the Rams did the same thing. But Jared Goff was the prime example. In your contract, in your rookie contract, that's the year, that's the window you have, I think, in the NFL to be able to win a Super Bowl.
No, because Tom Brady's proven that time and time again. That's not true.
That is totally different. Okay,
so every quarterback in the last 10 years wasn't on a rookie. But it wasn't on a rookie contract. Even Big Ben won without, going to Super Bowl with not a rookie contract. There's plenty of quarterbacks that haven't been on a rookie contract. The problem is it's like a pie, and if your quarterback's taking 30, 40%, now you're going to get not as good players around you. So in that rookie deal, you better learn how to ball and make players really good. Doesn't matter who it is, like a Tom Brady, like a Peyton Manning, Otherwise, like a Baker situation where he needs talent around him because Baker stinks and he will always stink. And if he takes a big deal like this, you're going to lose your weapons and you'll stink. You'll be one of the highest paid quarterbacks and you'll stink.
Firehead. Relax, Firehead. Calm down.
Yeah,
Calm down, Billy.
I agree. Like if these guys are taking huge contracts, it kind of, ties the hands of the franchise of not having enough money to go out there and get some other guys unless they're willing to take shorter deals. And then who are you going to get there? Like if you can keep some of the guys that you have and everybody shares that pie a little more equally, then you can build on something. You can keep your team in place for a longer amount of time. Instead, this is, 150 million guaranteed to him. He could go out tomorrow and blow out his knee, and guess what? He's still getting 150 million bucks.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about that is, the guaranteed money is the stuff I think sometimes gets out of hand, because the other money, they can always kind of work that in, and it could be with incentives. It could be, hit it out, so many passing yards, so many touchdowns, make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, because bonuses don't go against the cap, correct?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like bonuses don't go against the cap in the NFL. So, you would think eventually, like, these teams would get smart enough, or we always talk about betting on yourself. Like, if I'm a quarterback, like, get it in bonuses, which, obviously would be stupid if you're getting guaranteed money up front. But like why not try to, if you're going to sell yourself, make more money into bonuses to where you can get higher bonuses. If you get 25 touchdown passes in a year, you want $1 million for the bonus, and then every pass, every touchdown pass past 25, you get like an extra $100,000. And whatever, if you're a corner, so many interceptions or something like that, yeah, I understand the cap, restricts things, but, like we all just said, and Billy and Paul, like, you're really straining an organization. Like Dak did it with the Cowboys. He played on that rookie contract, but, he wanted $40 million a year or something. Well, dude, you have Lamb that's going to be coming off a rookie contract. You have Smith. You have all these people, but you just eat up everything else around you.
Well, and even go back to Josh Allen, just to put this in perspective, Josh Allen had like 6 more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. So it's hard to say like anybody's more riskier than Josh Allen running. Like Lamar has the flashy down the 60-yard runs. But Lamar had more rushing, or not Lamar. Josh Allen had more rushing attempts than Lamar Jackson last year.
And that's what AJ hit on in the comments over there. He says his running style makes guaranteed money even riskier, because he's willing to tuck and go and take off and run. So.
They even have called running plays for him. So it's similar to like Lamar. Like those two are at the forefront. Josh Allen is like a version of Cam Newton. When Cam Newton first started coming to play, could throw the ball on the field. Now his body is just taking a bruising throughout ever since his MVP. He's been going down because his body's just breaking down.
Yeah. The older he's getting, you can't go out there and take that beating anymore because, guys are still getting bigger, faster, stronger. So it says he tries to punish defenders instead of going down or out of bounds. Well, and that's just the youth in him. That's just the young guy thinking, I'm a big, tough quarterback in the NFL, and I like to run, and I can maybe put some punishment on these guys. But when these 270 to 300 pound defensive linemen or linebackers are coming at you and crushing you, it's going to take a toll on you here after a while. So. Guys like Brady and Peyton, like those guys realize, okay, we're not runners. We're going to sit in the pocket. We're going to throw passes. We're going to get touchdowns and, win Super Bowls. And that's kind of what it's about. But
Rodgers could run though, but he was smart about it.
Yeah. You'd see him all of a sudden just kind of skirt out of bounds or slide early and just get down to be happy with what he got.
The best runner is Russell. Russell Wilson's the best quarterback runner ever. Like the way he protects himself, he just never ends up getting that big hit ever.
I'd agree with that.
So, I mean, the guaranteed money stuff is what gets me because these guys, and I get it. As a player, go for it. Get all that guaranteed money you can because, like I said, you could go out there and blow your knee out tomorrow, and next thing you know, your contract isn't guaranteed. But that guaranteed
I just have that. I have that LeBron. I mean, it's weird. Like if I'm supporting the athletes on one hand, I have that LeBron mentality where it's like these owners are billionaires. Why should I take a pay cut for these owners, right? But in a fan perspective, it's like, hey, we want to try to keep as many good players as possible, and this is the only way that we understand how to. So, like, as a Browns fan, like moving forward, if Baker takes that money, Browns are going to go back to stake it because he's just trash.
I mean, but again, it sort of rotates back to a little bit of like what we talked about. We touched on yesterday a little bit about, are these kind of contracts like pricing out fans like us to go to games? Because now these guys, you're not going to see a break in the ticket sales because they're going to be like, now we need to sell more tickets and get these people in the stands because we just guaranteed this guy a shit ton of money, so we better get people in the stands. But they're going to outprice us to where, paying $100 or more a ticket is going to be unreasonable. So, do these contracts make that hard for fans like us to go out there?
It's really not Baker hate though. It's just Baker facts. Facts with Coach Mack over here about Baker stinking Mayfield. Trash.
Send him full screen. Go ahead, Billy. Get this off your chest.
I already did my piece. There's no more full screen needed.
That could be a whole show itself, Billy. It's just you hating on Baker Mayfield. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when Baker Mayfield has a great season, wins the division, goes to the playoffs, and has a good run? What are you going to say then?
What's a good run?
Lose in the AFC Championship.
He'll probably blow it in the playoffs. He'll probably throw 3 picks to the Chiefs, and we'll lose by 4 points. Then it'll be Baker's fault.
Sounds like a commercial break.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one time you pipe in, you're sending us to a commercial break.
You're welcome.
That boy Quinn.
You're welcome.
All right.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
We're back here on this Friday edition, the Friday free-for-all here on the Power Hour. And we're joined now by the Yokester. On
Hi,
the
guys.
road, coming back from what, Canton?
Yeah, I'm coming back from Canton. The Pro Football Hall of Fame made a stop at our friends over at Baird Brothers. So I'm going to stop and talk to our friends for a little bit, drop off some presents, and then I'll be on my way back to HQ. How's things?
Well, we're holding
presents
in this 2 days of a DJ-less Power Hour. So, I mean, it's still on, so that's a good thing.
I turned it on, and all I heard was, back in high school, whenever I was drinking cheap beer, and I was like, oh, no.
But in his time, it was 3-2 beer, though, so he was good. He could drink 3-2 beer in high school back in the...
You only had to be 8 to drink beer back in, 1904, so we were square.
That's right. Prohibition had nothing on us.
Paul was one of the original members of the Boston Tea Party, so we're all safe.
Damn straight. So how was Canton? Anybody exciting?
So I got to meet a bunch of Hall of Famers yesterday, and some great players today. I mean, it's funny seeing these Super Bowl rings, Paul, and all I could think of is you. All I could think of is you. Like, one guy had two Super Bowl. Billy Davis, who played for the Cowboys and then played for the Ravens, won 2 Super Bowls, 30 and 36, I think, is what I remember him saying. And he held up his Super Bowl rings, and I was like, Paul's ring's bigger than that. Like I got to bring you a state championship from the junior varsity. Yeah. Show you what you win for that. But no, in all seriousness, it was neat. But I gotta say, guys, and I hate to be that guy. I love what we do in interviewing who we interview a hell of a lot more than interviewing professional athletes. Because professional athletes, it's all about them. And these kids and these coaches at the high school and college level, it's about the team. It's about their family. It's about that stuff. Not to take anything away, but, when you approach a Hall of Famer on Hall of Fame weekend and the Hall of Famer's there, they probably want to get interviewed, right? They probably want to showcase, they just don't want to be forgotten about. That's kind of the whole idea of the Hall of Fame. And when one of them said $50,000 for an appearance fee, I laughed at him. And I was starstruck for about 3 seconds, and I was like, see ya, bye. Who are you?
He's a bum. He's a bum anyway.
And you guys know who I'm talking about, but we don't have to publicly bash him. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's a person. He's a grown man. That's it. Your profession is football, and good for you. And you made a lot of money doing it. And you're gonna tell me you want $50,000 for an appearance? Adios, muchacho.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you got to think about what are you doing right now besides out there promoting yourself, because I doubt he had anything to promote. So you're there because you're a Hall of Famer and you want to be a part of it. And then you're going to say, oh, by the way, I don't care who you are, but I want $50,000 for an interview. So.
Well, then you have a guy like Michael Strahan, right? Michael Strahan was unbelievable. And he actually had to work, right? He works for Fox, and we ran into him yesterday, and he couldn't have been any nicer. Asked me what we did, asked me what YSN was, and I was like, holy crap. This guy, if he didn't care, it really made it feel like he cared. And it's not about us there, but that's how you build, kind of a fandom. That's how you build people that like you and appreciate you and say, hey, I met this guy this weekend. The other guy, who I thought would be completely opposite, we couldn't even give him a cigar. Just to be like, hey man, your driver said you need a cigar, and he's like, no, I'm good. If you want that appearance fee, it's $50,000. Whoa, buddy, whoa. But Curtis Martin, one of the nicest people I've ever met. And he said in an interview that's going to come out that we taped, he got drafted. He didn't want to play football, but he played football so he could advocate for other things, which I thought was phenomenal. I thought that was really cool because, these guys are starting to figure out in the professional ranks, and the luncheon that I attended today, you get your ass kicked for a lot of years, and it wears and tears on you later on in life. They talked about Jim Brown and how he can barely walk, and it was It's tough. It's tough, but I mean, I had my fingers crossed. I know I told you guys I wanted to cross paths with the sheriff and Peyton Manning. Didn't happen, so I'm still on my bucket list. But I did hear that there's going to be a secret surprise tomorrow during the Hall of Fame that you might want to tune in for if you like guys that have 7 Super Bowl championships.
Well, the thing is they have come out and talked about that already, that Brady is going to be there.
Yeah.
And he's going to be there for Peyton because he feels he deserves it. So they said he's going to be in attendance tomorrow.
6 to 8 minutes is what they're allowed to, because there's like 30 of them, right? Because they're doing 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
So 6 to 8 minutes. I heard Peyton's got like 750, which it's either going to be 749 or 751 if Peyton says it's going to be 750 because he's, precision at its finest. There are some worries about some of the guys like Jimmy Johnson, going way long. So, they've kind of, as a class, I guess they said, we're going to stick to this the best we can and hopefully nobody goes over. Again, the only thing that I worry about and stuff like that, and I'll be interested, is there is a lot of guys and there's a lot of camaraderie, but there is, a term we throw around internally at YSN is me guys and we guys. And there are a ton of me guys when you don't have necessarily a logo attached to you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? Pull them off the stage? So I'm not concerned. Like, I don't care one way or the other. I'm excited to watch. But you can tell there's a lot of ego to the stuff that they do on a daily basis. And a lot of those guys shy away from the interviews but, not to ramble, but I got to tell you this too, like Westwood won, I think it was ESPN, the local ESPN affiliate. And there was another one that was in a room next to us. And they would kind of it's a dick move in our industry to say, hey, I'm going to borrow you for a minute and take 15. Like, be a man of your word or a woman of your word. And if you take somebody, if you say, hey, I'm only going to need a minute, you get 2, right? You get 2 minutes and that's it. I mean, they were throwing these guys through the gauntlet for like 45 minutes, 15 minutes at each station when they only asked for 1. And that's a no-no. That's something I learned very quickly, even with high schoolers and coaches. Like, you have to have respect for their time. And, some of the media that was there didn't at all. So we tried to make sure that we were good stewards of people's time. And we said, hey, do you have 8 minutes? Not a second longer. And we always kept it under, 8 minutes. So that was a frustrating part. Sorry.
Yeah, Coach Seidel says that luncheon's awesome. He sat with Tony Dorsett a couple years ago. Michael Page saying that Calvin Johnson said he's having trouble right now keeping his speech under 8 minutes.
Calvin Johnson had a hard time last night remembering who was inducting him into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you guys caught that. He said the wrong guy and then laughed really awkwardly like Kawhi Leonard and then corrected himself. I mean, some of these guys, Calvin Johnson never was, if you think about it, he was never one to be in front of the microphone or in front of the camera. He didn't like that stuff. He just wanted to go out and play and get paid, get paid because you talk. I heard you guys talking about Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to have a tough time, and he has to make this contract count because he's not going to be a guy we see at 40 years old playing football, the style he plays. I just don't think.
Agreed.
Yeah, Kate's saying that they're gonna play award show music when people go over their time limits to try to get them to shut up. I mean,
they won't hear it. I mean, a lot of these guys have bad hearing, and we talk about the CTE and this luncheon dealt with the CTE and vaccinations and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of these NFL players are spooked right now because the vaccination side of it, they could care less. I mean, right now they're in the prime of their career. They could care less about 20, 30 years down the road. They're worried about somebody taking their paycheck because the NFL is making everybody vaccinated. That's what they're worried about because they're not touching anybody. Like, obviously in Ohio, it's not mandated necessarily across the state that you wear masks. A lot of these players that I saw were wearing masks inside. So there's a lot of fear in the National Football League right now about vaccinations, and whether depending on what side of the fence you're on, I guess like you should be afraid on both sides because everybody's talking about, and I think we talked about the other day, the Delta variant. Like it could shut everything down again, and there's a lot of people that think it's going to happen, but they want to get some of the end of the summer stuff in first, like the fairs, and then as we go back inside, shut it down. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know who to believe. It's a crazy world right now, and depending on what side of the fence you're on, some of these players are literally running back to their hotel room to stay away from people, which is a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a thing, and I have to look it up again, but there's a handful of players that have retired. Like, I think one team's lost four guys already. They're just like, listen, we're done.
The Giants. The Giants
lost. Yeah.
Giants just lost like 3 linemen in 3 days.
Yeah, and they're just like, we're done. And there's offensive lineman Fulton is the third Giant to retire in 4 days. He started 44 games for him, and these guys are just, it says, I was trying to read here, they're just tired. They're getting, they're not only like with these vaccinations, but just all the stuff. They're just like, you know what, we're good.
I mean, there's a reason these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars, right? I mean, for if people could walk a mile in the shoes of an NFL lineman, I think they would probably be like, you know what, I'm good working at Target. I'm good because it is pillar to post, and then you think about coaches. Coaches aren't even playing, but the amount of intellectual curiosity and the amount of brain power that you have to have. Like, you're sleeping 4 hours a night if you're an NFL coach. And after a while, you just go, is it worth it? Is it worth it to do it? A lot of people love the game, but how much? How much do you the time that you miss with your family, the time that you miss, doing the things that you want to do? Like, we're going to a golf outing tomorrow. If we were on an NFL team, we're not going to a golf outing tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
It's
the window those guys get is very small to have an enjoyment of time. I mean, I think back, you talked yesterday about in our group thread that you ran into Bruce Smith and how like of a giant of a man that he is. And a kid that I went to high school with, Todd Kohler, he was like 2 years older than me. Kohler went to YSU, won national championships, ended up being a free agent going to Buffalo. He was an offensive lineman, and he would practice in their practices. He would line up against Bruce Smith and play. And he only lasted I think he lasted 3 preseason games with Buffalo, and then he left. He came home, and all of us wondered, like, what the hell happened? Like, you were in the NFL. And he said, he goes, you don't understand what it's like. He goes, everybody wants to, it's a kid's game. It's a kid's game. You're getting paid lots of money. He goes, it's a job. And he goes, they have control over you 24/7. They want you to be at practice at 2 a.m. You're going to be there at 2 a.m. And he goes, they control everything you do, up to what you eat, how you practice, where you work out, all that stuff. And he goes, you get tired of that after a while. He goes, yeah, the glitz and glam of the NFL isn't all what it's cracked up to be. And I mean, it's easy for us to sit there and go, man, I'd give my left arm to go play professional something. But I got to imagine it's across the board. It's all the same. That, like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. And would we all love to have a chance to do it? Oh, absolutely.
That's why I say pro starting pitching is the job to have every 5 days, baby. Just stroll on out there.
Not even starting pitcher.
Or if you're the Pittsburgh, the only thing better than that is if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates closer, because you never work.
I mean, speak of pitching, I think it'd be the bullpen guys. Be the bullpen guy. You get to come in and throw what? 1 inning, maybe a couple batters, and you go back to the bullpen.
Oh, yeah, but you're working every day. You could work every day.
Yeah, but for what, Billy? Like 15, 20 minutes, half hour at the most, and then you go back? I mean, that would be it. I mean, you got to think, it is. It's a tough grind, I think, in any of those sports. And it's not all it's cracked up to be. But, I mean,
Well, isn't that with anything though? Like everybody wants to be on TV, or everybody wants to do, be a movie star. Everybody wants to be a professional athlete. They want these glamorous positions, and then you kind of get there, and you're like, oh well, wait a minute, this is a lot of work. This takes a lot, like even what and listen, I think we're very fortunate to do what we do, but even what we do, like there's a lot that goes into it on the back end to get a stream to go up, and we did it 1,900 times last year. There's an element to making stuff look easy, and that's why, like, I'm a firm believer, and my wife hates when I say this, but there should be an average person Olympics, right? So, like, the first week is the real Olympics, and then the next week is, like, just the average Joe's Olympics, and then you realize how good and talented those people are.
Did you see, like, Jeff you watch trying to do a pole vault?
The pole would break.
Why do you go to me being the most unathletic person on this board?
I use the example of me swimming, right? Because I can't swim.
Oh, I can't swim. I'm sinking.
That's why we do it, Jeff.
It's like the Titanic. It's just all down.
Jeff's like, is there a penny on the bottom of the pool? I'll get it. I got that penny on the bottom of the pool.
It's like a golf ball going into the water. Just doink, all the way down to the bottom.
Oh, it'd be a big splash. You'll be a big ass splash.
What did you say?
Peppercorn. It's some five. There's no Wendy peppercorn for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
No lifeguard to pull you out.
Nope.
Yeah, if that's my time to go, that's my time to go.
Cool. Well, you go on the biggest stage. Like, if you were to die in an Olympic event, which one would you want to die in, Jeff?
Not swimming. Archery.
You want to get shot by a bunch of bow and arrows?
It's like,
Jeff just happens to be walking across the field and a freaking arrow comes out of nowhere.
I think a bear just walked onto the archery field.
And the Hunger Games. That's the next one we're gonna do. The next pinata I'll do is the end of Hunger Games. It'll just be Jeff's head getting taken out. I don't know, like
average Joe Olympics.
I think that'd be fun. I really do, because like you're gonna see some dude pull up like halfway through the 100 with a hammy. You know what I mean? And, like those hurdles. When they jumped those hurdles, I sat there and I was like, it's like they didn't even see them there. They just so natural and over. Like, can you imagine? I walked up to the hurdles at the East Palestine track the one day, and they were up to my chest. So I would have to go under the hurdles in order to pass them. Like, there's no way I'm getting over them.
Well, I mean, think of the guys and girls that do the high jump. I mean, they're just jumping off the ground, and they're clearing 7 to 8 feet. Like, that's just crazy.
I would need to jump off a ladder.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. I mean, I watched the volleyball game last night and saw those girls playing, and the one girl for Slovenia, whatever, hit a ball so hard. I was thinking to myself, you couldn't pay me to stand in front of that girl hitting a ball. And these girls are blocking it.
There's a number.
It'd be tough to let that girl get. I mean, they said they clocked it. I mean, it was insane. And like these girls are blocking it or they're bumping it, and like I'm like, nah, I'm good. I mean,
dude, have you seen the guys play? Like they get that return off of a spike, and it knocks them over, dude.
Yeah.
Like even on their serves, like there's so much velocity behind it. And
well, you're trying to catch it, right? Like,
in volleyball?
Almost like a bunt. Well, you know what I mean. Like when you're trying to take those hard hits, you try to catch the velocity like a little bit
into your arm a little bit.
Yeah, and then you return it you use kind of the velo against it instead of just sticking straight out and hope. And I'm doing this in my car, like you can see me. But that's kind of how you do it. You kind of take some of the oomph out of it and pop it back up.
No,
you're exactly right.
But I mean, and those guys could be basketball players. They're jumping so damn high,
but
and they're just flying through the air and like they're hitting that ball, and you're just like I'm more impressed. I will say this is the teams. I mean, shit, any of us can go out there and play volleyball, and we're like, there's our serve, or maybe over here. I watched the one girl, she threw that thing, and it probably went 15 feet in the air. She come running, and then that was her serve. And I was thinking to myself, I looked like the biggest asshole because I'd go to swing, it hit me in the head, and I'd fall down. I'd be like, whatever.
Their body control is unreal. Like, if you think how high they jump, and like you're running up to the net, if we would run up to the net, like our momentum is going to carry us through the net. But
Yeah.
these, like not just the guys, but the girls too. Like
They
just
can't
run
cross
it.
that line.
Yeah, like it's straight up. And then like not only the regular volleyball, but dude, watching sand volleyball, like watching those guys, it was 125 degrees yesterday for them.
No thanks.
One, that's probably going to be the way that I go. Like, hey, you just had a heat stroke. Two, like it's 2-on-2, and to move into sand, like, dude, my legs hurt for these people.
Yeah, and then they're out there trying to do all that and cover that entire court with just the two of them in sand. So
right.
I mean, it's crazy. So, well, I mean, we have made it to the end of the show. It is time for our G. Burbick Farms. What's your beef? What's your filet? Friday edition here on the Power Hour. Quinn, you haven't shut up all day, so we're going to make you go first. What is your beef or filet today?
Yeah, so my beef is with the fine folks at Doyle's next to us. It sounds like they're breaking down the damn wall. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I'm just waiting for somebody to pop a head through, kind of like what was that movie, The Shining, and say hi. So
here's Johnny.
Hey, maybe you get the Kool-Aid man. He comes through there. Oh yeah.
He's in the box next to you.
Speaking of him, Jeff Bezos. Beef or filet? What do you got?
Mine is
Mine is
Are we done, Philly? Okay, good. Mine's a filet. It's just going to be hanging out. Mine's a beef. I hope Billy gets ran over by a semi truck and not comes back and he's done. That's mine. Mine's a beef. That is it. Billy, go stand out in the middle of the street, play Frogger, and forget to move.
What's your filet, Jeff? You had a filet?
No, mine's a beef. I already said mine. Move on. DJ, what is yours?
Mine is gonna be just being able to get back to what we do the best. The last 2 days made me realize how much I love what we do. You know what I mean? I missed being on the show yesterday, and like being around these guys that take everything for granted. I love what we do, man. I love the kids that we interview, the coaches we interview, the college athletes we interview, and they're not assholes. So that's my filet, man. I love being able to do this. But my beef, if I may, if you are in the media, nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you an interview. Nobody owes you any time. So to call somebody out on social media or call out a coach or a program or two programs for that matter on social media, you better get your mind right. You better get your stuff straight because, I guess if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be able to do what you do. And that's what we talk about all the time. If it wasn't for these athletes, these sports, these schools, we wouldn't be around because there'd be no use for us. So make sure you get your priorities straight if you're in the media and you're going to call people out because they don't need you. You know why? Because they got us. That's my beef.
EB.
My beef. I'll go ahead and say this: we do not promote any underage drinking or any drinking of any kind. But so I go to Chris Stapleton last night, and it's me and my buddy, and we show up, and there's a bunch of people around us, and we're hanging out. My beef is with the drinking games these college kids play now. Like what the hell ever happened to flip cut? Beer pong, Kings, up the river, down the river, anything like that. But now you're playing shit like two bitch or beer ball was fun, but all this other stuff that has these crazy names and there's all these rules to it. Like whatever happened to the simplicity of just having a couple adult beverages and keeping it simple and fun. I don't need to sit here and listen to rules of how you're doing things wrong just in order to have a good time, especially when all you're doing is flipping cards. And I feel like it is whose line is it anyways when you're making up the rules and the points don't matter. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's really just because you're looking to drink the most, but which we do not promote, by the way. But that's my beef right now.
Billy Mack.
Beef and fly.
What?
My beef was earlier today. I was on 224 and heading to see Quinn for lunch, and I got into the turning lane, and this old idiot who was driving a Caprice, white Caprice, license plate ETB 483. Anyway, just came right at me and wouldn't let me turn. In fact, started cussing me out, and then got out of his car. And when he got out of his car, I thought it meant GTA, and he almost got ran over. Because I don't play by those set of rules. So like when you get out of the car, that basically means it's my opportunity to run you over. I played the video game. Now he didn't get run over, but he was on top of that hood real fast. And then my fillet is Jeff Bezos. Jeff, have a blessed weekend, sir.
I will. I will have a really good weekend. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun this weekend.
I love it. Just turned it on him. Mine is a combo of a beef and a fillet. The fillet part of it is I enjoy the summertime being off with the girls, and we get to go do fun things, whether it be swimming today or went on a bike ride. It's fun to do and take advantage of. And the beef part of it is we did go bike riding today. We went to the bike trail over there by Mill Creek Park, and we rode 6 miles, which was down and back. And they have learned to ride their bikes perfectly, and they do a great job. And they're doing their best to learn the right away and wrong way to stay in the lanes and not run into people. They didn't hit anybody, thankfully. But it's the damn walkers. Like, there is a handful of people that just absolutely refuse to get out of the way or to move over a little bit as they were riding their bikes. Me, I'm fine. I can get around your ass. If not, I'll just kick you and push you off the side of the road. I'm good. But they're nervous around other people. And so, like, they were, like, having to swerve and then almost run into somebody over there and come back. And these people just didn't care. And they were really, I guess, maybe it was the same guy. These older people that just don't give a shit, to think, well, listen, we're walking. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We don't care. My thing was, like, move over a little bit. Like, you see them coming. Like, so just slide over a little bit so they don't run into you. Because if they run into you, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say sorry. Because they're little kids and they're just riding their bicycles and they're having a good time. It's the summer. So, you know, move the hell over. You're out there walking, just doing nothing. So that was mine. But other than that, show's over. Fly the flag. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Why is that not moving?
There we go.
Jeff stinks.